Hello everyone, Ari here. I'm doing a Q&A video and also giving a very special announcement in this video. So stay tuned until the end and you'll be able to learn about that. So I have a couple of questions here. Some of them are from my subscribers. Some of them are just general questions that you might wonder about me. Let's start with this one. What is my favorite color? It's magenta, in case you couldn't tell by my character. What are my favorite games? Something you need to know about me is that I become obsessed with a new game every few months, maybe every few years. It depends on the grip that the game has on me. And it's usually just one game at a time. So my first obsession was a game called Etherlight, which isn't active anymore as far as I know, but it was where I met a lot of my online friends who I talk to even to this day. And it was like a really fun game with like turn-based combat, except it was multiplayer. After I grew out of that game, I became obsessed with Minecraft. So I've been watching Minecraft YouTubers since, I want to say 2015, probably around that era. But I never played the game myself until 2020 because my parents were super strict about it, and I eventually had to buy it with my own money. I bought it for my sister for Christmas, and I also bought it for myself, and we would play together and stuff. My sister and I wanted to be like the YouTubers we watch, so we started posting gameplay videos on a channel that we shared, and my channel kind of became an outgrowth of that. Some of you might still be here from that old channel, and I appreciate that you've stuck around for so long. You're probably from Etherlight, actually, so hi guys! My next game obsession was Stardew Valley, and I have... let me go look. I have 147 hours of playtime. It was my comfort game for a really long time. Now, my next obsession was a game called Gris. I should look up actually how to pronounce that. In French, it's Gris, but I think the game's developers speak Spanish, so they intended it to be pronounced Gris, which means gray in Spanish. Gris. Let me go to Google Translate and ask it how to pronounce gris in Spanish. Gris. Thank you, Google Translate. I appreciate it. Tangent aside, Gris was one of my favorite games. It was beautiful. I can't emphasize how beautiful this game is. And the story and the music, they're impeccable. It's a masterpiece of a game. And I've played it through twice, I think, and it still remains one of my favorite games that I want to replay over and over again. But it's also one of those games that you kind of have to wait a bit and then come back to it, which, speaking of, it might be about time for me to replay it. So maybe I'll do that as a YouTube video or series one of these days. I actually 100%ed it. That's how much I loved it. Okay. I think the next favorite game of mine after Gris was a game called Sable. We're going along with all of the color-themed names here, huh? Sable has incredible world building and incredible themes in it. I loved it so much. I also 100%ed it, and I would love to play it again someday. Maybe I'll do that as a video as well. Or a series, honestly. It would make a good series. Maybe you can see a theme in my choice of favorite games. I don't like games that make your heart race, or like you have to have quick reflexes and you have to have like pinpoint accuracy to shoot the guy around the corner or whatever. I like games that don't trigger anxiety because I have enough that does that in my life. Thank you very much. I prefer games where you get to know the characters, you learn their stories, you walk through everything alongside them. Sable is one of those games. It explores human emotion, human experience in this wonderful world, this incredibly developed and built world that was just a pleasure to play through. Games that have this human aspect to it, kind of like books do, except games take on like a physical, visual aspect. Similar to movies, actually, except with movies, you can't really make choices with the characters that influence the story. The movie's just there for you to watch and experience, but you aren't really active in it. You're just a watcher. You're not a participant. Whereas with games like Sable, you're allowed to be part of the story. You're allowed to make choices and watch the main character grow. Now, my most recent obsession I featured on a video on my channel, and that game is Genshin Impact. It has consumed my every waking thought. That's only a slight exaggeration. I've been playing it for almost a year now, and I still haven't gone through all the content available in this game. I have to say it's my favorite game right now for similar reasons as a couple of the previous games, because of the characters, because of the story, because of the lore, because of the design of the game, the graphics, the beauty of the world, the music. So Genshin Impact is right now my favorite game. I'm going to do a video of like a 1-year account review, which talks about like all of the characters that I've built, how much I've gotten through in a year of playing as a free-to-play player, which means I haven't spent any money, because this game does encourage you to spend money, but I have stood strong and I have not. I don't plan to. It's a good game. You can play it for free and you can have a lot of fun. Next question. Who is my favorite YouTuber? Okay, let's see here. My favorite YouTubers change depending on what series I'm into at the time. The past few years, I've been into Hermitcraft, and with the advent of Season 10, I have been watching a lot of Grian, Gemini Tay, and Good Times with Scar, who are the holy trinity of chaos makers on the Hermitcraft server, basically. I love their videos. They are so fun to watch. I also regularly watch Pearlescent Moon and Ethos Lab. Yeah, I am a certified etho girl, I guess you could say. The next question is from Sketch. Wanna collab? JK. Absolutely. Yes. When do we start recording? No JK there. What YouTubers have inspired your channel, videos, and style, if you can name any? Most of the YouTubers that I watch create series that endure for a long time, like Hermitcraft, for example. Some creators, however, do one-off videos, which aren't part of a series, but they're entertaining nonetheless. One of these, whom I've watched for many years, is LD Shadow Lady, and recently I've noticed she's been putting out a lot of one-off content, which is just her creating fun little Minecraft adventure maps and stuff, which I like. It's cute. It's fun. So I think my niche isn't to create long series. I think it's to create content that stands on its own, but it can potentially be a series if I wanted it to be, like if it's a gameplay video or something like that. I would say for YouTubers who have inspired my channel and my videos and my style, all of the Minecraft YouTubers that I watched growing up. I watched LD Shadow Lady, I watched AFMAO, I would watch people's Let's Play videos. I don't remember half of them. A lot of their editing styles I have picked up because I've watched so many of them over the years. I do know that I prefer like snappy editing where jokes, happen rapidly or they can be made by sudden cuts in a video. I'm trying to lean more heavily into that kind of editing. LD Shadow Lady, again, she's amazing. She was a big inspiration for me for that. She keeps her videos very short and pithy without any unnecessary filler content that would drag the pacing of the video. I think I picked up my editing sense kind of from watching her videos. I also use black screens to emphasize certain things, which is an editing technique I picked up from Mumbo Jumbo, although he's kind of moved away from that in recent videos. I also like Zombie Cleo's inclusion of text on the screen in their videos, either to provide extra context for something or to make a funny joke. Smallish Beans does something similar with short snippets of text on the screen that you kind of have to pause to read them or like skip back. His editing style is much more fast-paced than Cleo's. Technoblade's editing style definitely inspired me a lot as well. He inspired me to kind of like script out some parts of my voiceovers, but in other areas allowing my narration to flow naturally. He was a master of quick-witted editing to keep the audience engaged. Okay, next question. How do you choose which parts to cut and which parts to keep in your videos? This is from Shelby. Hello, Shelby. My editing style is basically just to include anything in the video that makes me laugh. I have kind of a weird sense of humor. It's quite often very dry and sarcastic, but also likes poking fun at people. Usually these people are good sports about it, so I don't feel too bad about doing it, but it's kind of pure luck if my humor resonates with my audience. I must have, because some of you guys have stuck around. I do, in my editing, try to note places where the video pacing begins to drag, and I'll consider cutting out those sections. Anything that doesn't seem important or like it doesn't contribute to a bit that was previously included in the video, I'll usually cut it out. Unless it's like a super funny thing that just randomly gets thrown in there. If I collaborate with other people, I note which bits are usually theirs, and I'll take them out of my videos so you guys don't have to watch the same content 3 times, basically. However, this does kind of present a problem where some inside jokes in my recording group are only included on others' channels and not mine. So I guess that means you guys just have to go subscribe to my friends. Get advertised, idiots. Another question from Shelby. What are the best and worst parts about editing a video? The best parts are adding the funny bits. So for example, in the Among Us But We Can Hear Ghosts video, I just randomly got the idea while editing to create a freeze frame for each participant listing what made them suspicious. Those bits are fun to edit. What's not so fun is going through 3 hours of footage to cut out the unfunny parts. What makes this so painful? You can't do anything else while you're cutting down the footage. You can't even listen to music or watch other videos or scroll on Twitter because you have to pay attention to everything going on in the footage to know whether you want to keep it or not. But I do quite enjoy it anyway, even if I do procrastinate a little bit sometimes. When did you first have the idea for the development of your withered persona? Again, a question from Shelby. So, my withered persona. I have a story about that, actually. It's kind of convoluted, but I'll try to keep it somewhat coherent. The origin of my withered persona traces back to my previous Minecraft username, Arbitrariella. That's also a play on words, I'm sure you guys can see. I developed a lot of lore for Arbitrariella, which did involve the void. So that was like a common thread throughout all of my Minecraft personas. And this original character began her journey by waking up in a new world without any memory of anything before. So it's kind of like my explanation for how players spawn into a new Minecraft world out of nowhere, you know? And Arbitrariella, she came from somewhere before, but when she ended up in a new Minecraft world, she doesn't have any memory of how she got there or of anything before. And an important point about her character is that she would only have one canon life in each world that she entered, even if the server wasn't on hardcore mode. I would try my hardest not to die in any of the worlds that I created, and I wouldn't count the stupid ones as canon. But eventually, there would come a point in the world where something would happen. She would have her canon death, and then after it, she would appear in the next Minecraft world, kind of like respawning, but it wouldn't be the same one. It would be a new one. And after each iteration, basically, her memories would begin coming back slowly in traumatic flashbacks, driving her more insane over time. So that was a whole thing. I did a brief Minecraft series which kind of touched on this. I think it's unlisted now, but I had played with that idea before. Multiplayer worlds are a bit different. And my character is basically this unhinged, wild, crazy girl who rambles about the moon and tries to trade emeralds for everything because the only intelligent interaction she ever had in the past was with villagers. That was Arbitrariella. This withered persona is not a different character from Arbitrariella. Withered Aurora is actually the corrupted version of that original character. At some point in the lore, the previous, original version, Arbitrariella, fell into the void. And when she respawned in a new world, she was half withered by the touch of the void, and it also changed her appearance. So that's how I explain the skin change to be like what it is presently, in addition to like the purple scar that she has across half of her body. This new version of her was definitely much more desaturated than the previous one. She had very bright colors previously. Also, the flower crown in her hair used to be budding flowers. They were alive and healthy and colorful, but the void made her flower crown into wither roses, as you can see here. So that long-winded explanation segues into my answer. I first had the idea for this corrupted version of Ari in around 2021 when I created another version of my original skin, which was inspired by the Minecraft Phantom, which that skin also had lore connections to the Void even back then. When I decided it was time for a rebrand and a revamp of my entire channel, that was the direction that I went. I wanted to do something with the Void. I wanted to do something with a change, a drastic change in my character's appearance. Also, you can't really be a Minecraft YouTuber without having some kind of vague connection to a Minecraft mob, can you? The next question is from Days. What inspired the name Withered Aurora? The name was quite difficult to come up with. I knew I wanted to do something with, the void, with corruption of the previous character. It took me a while to land on the name Withered Aurora. I went through a whole entire brainstorming list of notes with a lot of different ideas. I played with the idea of like crimson, something to do with red because of the red hair that my character had at the time. Rebranding with Aurora kind of gave me a new, fresh start. And Aurora also can keep the nickname of Ari, which was my previous nickname, and I now answer to it as quickly as my real name. So you guys just call me Ari. I guess you could say certain YouTubers also inspired the name Withered Aurora because it's quite a common thing to do when naming your YouTube channel, to do like a two-part with like a very poignant word and then your name, or maybe not your name, but like two very powerful and imagery-filled words. For example, Pearlescent Moon is a very beautiful and strong name for a YouTube channel, and I was definitely inspired by Pearl for that. Gemini Tay. So, Tay is her nickname. Gemini, she chose to make it sound cool. So that's kind of what inspired me to name my YouTube channel, Withered Aurora, in my rebrand. Next question, also from Days. Favorite game you enjoy playing solo? A game that has no multiplayer capabilities? I would have to say Sable. Another question from Days. Favorite game you like to play with friends? Genshin Impact. Obviously, I love playing with you guys. So fun to hop into co-op mode and just do random stuff together, help each other out. And another question from Days. Thank you for all the questions. Favorite game genre? I would have to say story-driven. I guess sandbox would be another of my favorite ones because you can pretty much do anything. You can create whatever you want in like Minecraft. For like the vibe of games, I like open world exploration, fantasy inspired games. Also science fiction inspired. Fantasy and sci-fi, they're amazing. I love books, movies, games, anything in those styles. It's awesome. The next question is from Krink. What has been your favorite video you've made so far? I always come back to the same video that I'm so quite proud of. It's the My Friends Made Me Fight the Wither in Minecraft. I love this video kind of because I came up with the idea all on my own and I knew how to execute it. I was able to execute it effectively. It's still my favorite in terms of quality and effort put into it. While recording it, I completely expected something to go wrong, and it did a couple times actually, but I was able to work around the problems and I finished the challenge. I want to do little challenge videos like that more often, actually. Maybe I'll do that again sometime. It looks like that's it for the questions. Now it's time for the special announcement. Thank you for sticking around until the end of the video, guys. The announcement is that I am officially launching a Discord server for my YouTube community. Woo! Yay! It's called The Cosmic Nexus, which is a reference to some of my characters' lore. If you're interested in my content and play any of the games that have been featured on my channel in the past, it might be right up your alley, so maybe you can check it out. You can join using the link in the pinned comment. Thank you guys for watching. I really, really appreciate all of the support on my channel. This is a celebration for 100 subscribers, and now I've kind of surpassed that. And I'm really, really grateful for everybody who's decided that they believe in me and my content. I would love to grow a really wholesome and supportive community. So this Discord server will be a step in that direction. So yeah, feel free to join. Thank you guys so much. Bye.